Two middle-aged men in Cleveland. There's no doubt this is episode 142.
Yeah.
Recording this on a wonderful, cool, and wet day. The previous time we did this, it was also a cool and wet day. And if you want to know what's going to be happening in the next couple days, it'll be a cool
And
and
wet
wet
day.
day.
Yes.
Ted Klopp, give me a weather forecaster if he wants to. Ken Dworsnik, bring you laughs, foolishness, and maybe a little bit of information. Ted, from the start, we don't talk sports. We kind of have fun with sports, so I'm not getting into that. But have you been following this whole thing with the Brook Park Dome and Cleveland Browns Stadium and city council and the mayor and all? Have you followed all of this?
It's absurd to me that a private group would say, we want to invest $3 billion or $2 billion into the region, and the area leaders would say, well, you're not doing it right, so we don't want it.
Yes.
You're
And
not
now
doing what you to, so no. Oh,
it's it's very interesting. So now, the latest that I've heard, and this was reported by a couple different people, I like to have multiple sources. I just don't go with one source. I think that happened to Mr. Drennan. Um, my thoughts on this, and what I was told is that Mr. Haslam, who has a lot of money, by the way, I mean, we're talking billions of dollars. He is at a point right now, and this seems like something straight out of the mafia of giving the city of Cleveland $680 million to say, here's money for this. You need to jump on board with what I'm doing in Brook Park. That's that's being talked about.
I,
That is unbelievable to me.
this is, my short summation of this is why this region is in the shape it's in, because this is the leadership we have.
This
But
has certainly been handled about as poorly as possible. And then recently, I've heard all of a sudden, because of what has been talking about and possibly the stadium being, elsewhere besides downtown, now all of a sudden they're talking about doing development on Burke Lakefront Airport. That all of a sudden this is coming out of nowhere. I just kind of laugh. It's just like, are we drawing for straw? I mean, what exactly are we doing? So
I don't know.
my concern is that this is going to be dragged out, that we're going to continue to have the same conversations and unfortunately the same results. My
Well,
thoughts, I would really like to see the dome. I understand why they don't want, Cleveland Brown Stadium to be out of downtown because of the businesses and stuff. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, where it's currently located, it's a cluster.
yep.
And I mean a cluster to go to a game.
Do you know why it's located where it was located? Because
I have an
that's where
idea,
it
but I
used
would
to
like you to
be.
tell the listeners.
That's what it used to be. They were rushed to put it together, so they just said, we'll put it right back where it was. There were other locations talked about. They had to rush, and that's the deal. The only other thing I'll say on this, the current county council president used to be the chief of staff for Cleveland Mayor Jane Campbell. And if you recall, one of her horrifically failed initiatives was adopt a trash can.
Oh, I remember that. I forgot about that.
And that's so that's just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I wanted to have this discussion just because I find it extremely interesting. I really, really do. So we'll certainly continue to keep our ears and minds open as we hear more information. But I have a feeling this is not going to be ending anytime soon, and these negotiations and conversations will just continue. It could be all the way until 2028 when they're actually supposed to build this stadium.
Who knows?
That'd be great.
Well, a rant. I'm going to save it for out and about because it happened when I was out and about. But
Okay.
we have a rant
Wow.
and we have a few other things. So let's get to it.
And now, a woman's perspective.
How do you know when a man is about to say something smart? The sentence begins with, "My wife told me."
This has been a woman's perspective.
Overachiever segment. I wonder if this has anything to do with the Guinness World Record. Let's see. The guy who owns the most concurrent Guinness World Records beat one of his own. How about that? David Rush, great name, by the way. I think of the band every time when I hear his name. He set the record for the most water moved by hand in 30 seconds. That's right. He set the record for the most water moved by his hand in 30 seconds. He moved 172 and a half ounces of water this time, beating his previous mark of 112.4. Gosh, what an overachiever. He says it took him about 5 years of attempts to get to the initial record because many early attempts were disqualified for things like using a non-approved surface. All right. This guy,
The
David Rush,
Yeah, I
fly
don't
by
know.
night, he will
Yeah,
choose free will. He's been practicing this for 5 years. What surface is he using?
I don't know. I think we need more information.
Maybe we could talk to David.
I'll take obscure pieces of information for 800, Alex.
My God.
That's not the only overachiever we have,
Oh,
though, Ken. The town of Landernau, France, believes the third time is the charm, as on its third attempt, the town hosted a gathering of the most people dressed as Smurfs. The record is now 3,076 blue people. There is no word on why the town decided to go for the record. The town is in France. Smurfs were created by a guy from Belgium.
huh. I how do you think these people got paid to do this?
I, well, if they did, then the town budget is needs a severe overhaul.
Wow. I guess we'll have to find pictures of this as well. These are wow, we have two overachievers that are kind of blowing us out of the water today.
That's that's what they do.
The most trusted name in journalism, Klopp's Clips.
Bank is under fire after a young man tried to file paperwork for his 96-year-old mother to verify her identity so she could cash her pension, which she hadn't been able to do for about 6 months. The only way the bank would accept her verification was to have her come to the branch in person. So she was transported by ambulance stretcher since she can't move due to age and illness.
I wonder what the charge would be for that to get that transport. Because usually, if you call an ambulance and you have a problem,
You gotta
that's about
pay.
10 grand.
Right, yeah. Can you just take me to the bank? Gotta give him a fingerprint.
Call the firemen.
A Kentucky mom found stacks of boxes of dum-dums at her door, 70,000 dum-dums to be exact. Then she discovered that her 8-year-old ordered them from Amazon because he wanted to use them as prizes for his carnival. She eventually was able to get a refund for the order of $4,000 worth of dum-dums. Can we all agree she's kind of a dum-dum for not having her Amazon a little more harder to access for her 8-year-old?
It's a quick answer of yes. We both have kids, and I don't think either of our kids have the ability to just go on Amazon and buy anything.
No.
We're not at that point. Dumb.
A California family is suing a funeral home The family arrived at the funeral home to prepare their 80-year-old uncle for burial, but they found the wrong guy in the uncle's casket wearing his clothes.
Oh, boy, come on.
They told a mortuary worker who initially dismissed the claim. The family then pointed out the skin tone of the guy in the casket and showed a picture of the actual person. The mortuary worker then agreed that a mishap had occurred, and it took about 3 hours to fix the mix-up.
Oh, boy. Don't they put, I don't know that much about the funeral home business. I have friends that are in it. I don't really talk to them that much about that. I would think there's got to be some kind of tag or something. Don't you have a tag involved?
Isn't that the toe tag is the joke?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
whatever?
that's something to that extent. Boy, that's well, good thing they had a picture.
Yeah. That's a killer story. Sports, the TV home of the Phillies has finally said goodbye to its scoreboard graphic. The graphic featured a team logo, the score, and then another team logo. Problem is that when the Phillies play the Pirates, both team logos are the letter P. When the score is 0-0, the scoreboard appears to spell poop. They got rid of that.
That's good. Keep it clean.
Yeah, kind of a crappy way to end this segment. I'm Ted Klopp. That's news to me.
Some good news for you today, Ted. A
Oh,
Michigan
good.
man hit the jackpot in a Fantasy 5 double play drawing. That sounds like a video game.
That's
The
that's a tongue
61-year-old
twister.
Kelly Ralston. I went to school with the Ralston. I wonder if that's the relation.
I
Won
don't know.
$100,000 after winning 115 grand in the same game just a year ago. Ralston says he's thrilled and doesn't plan to stop playing anytime soon. Ralston is getting after it when it
Yeah.
comes to the Fantasy 5 double play drawing.
You
Good
think
for
he's
him.
you think he's warning the lottery people, "Hey, I'm coming back"?
Could be. I mean,
Oh.
he's clearing close to 100,000 now. So that's great.
As we say, he's bringing it hard and strong.
Ted, we are out and about Northeast Ohio, taking in numerous amounts of food, beverages. We made it to Richfield, by the way. When's the last time you've been to Richfield besides the Coliseum? It's been a
Been
while,
a long
hasn't it?
time.
Well, they are trying to do some development in Richfield. They got a couple nice restaurants, and one place that I did have the opportunity to go to is the Richfield Brewery, which is located, I believe, right off 303. It was really nice. Really nice. They had beer. I like that. They had spirits. I like that. They had numerous amounts of food. I also like that. I was lucky to go on a day that was similar to how it looks when we're recording this, dreary, rainy. So it kind of kept the crowd out, but I will tell you over the summer, good luck getting in there. They got a nice patio, they got a nice facility, so I would highly recommend the Richfield Brewery, which I think was built last year.
All right. Can I do my rant? I have a rant. Or do you have more?
I have more. Can you at
Oh,
least give me
please.
2 minutes? For
Please,
God's
go right ahead.
sakes.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Didn't mean
I
to jump the
also
gun.
took in, once again, we're back in season. Huff and Puff softball.
Oh,
Back at it. Back at it. Couple rule changes. Wanted to bring these up to you. One, there is a person on the team that is a designated hitter. However, this person, if they get an out, it doesn't count. I can't make this up. I was so confused with the rules, and my uncle, who's 88, plays on the team, and it's phenomenal. I just love watching him play. He's actually really good. And they basically said, all right, designated hitter. And the guy got out. Doesn't count as an out. Like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. And then we had a lot of controversy because now we are at a 2-hour time limit. No matter where you're at in the game, after 2 hours, you're done. That's it. Operation shutdown. You're done. So that's not going over well.
This is called Huff and Puff.
It is.
That's, you know, I do Huff and Puff too. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, when do you do
Yeah.
that?
Well, every time I go up and down the stairs.
That's most of us.
Yeah.
That's most of us.
Yeah.
I also want to just give a shout out to the Metro Parks. I had to go to a surprise 50th birthday for my cousin, and I went to the Ridgewood Drive Metro Parks in Parma. Let me just tell you, all of our Metro Parks are really nice. I mean, really nice. So nice that when I was at the party, someone had made a picnic and they decided to get engaged at that point in time at noon while I was there. Not part of our party, just some random people that just thought the place was really nice. So, hats off to the Metro Parks, which I believe, which was last year, they were named the #1 Metro Parks in the country or something like that. Do you remember that story? Something to that extent, from what I remember. So hats off to them. I will now pass the baton to you. You're very excited because you have a rant, and usually I'm the one that's ranting, but you're going to rant today, and so I will shut up and listen to your rant. Hopefully, you feel better.
I want you to try to objectively judge this situation. So we're at Cedar Point. We have season passes to Cedar Point. With those season passes, we get these eternally refillable drinks. You know, you get it, drink it, go to the next station, they scan the bar, and you refill it. Got 2 of those. We got 3 kids. Some of them like riding roller coasters, some of them don't. So my wife is off with our youngest son, and I'm with the 2 older ones, and they want to ride the Magnum. And as we've been doing all day, I would walk through the line with them. I'm at 53 with a weak stomach. The Gemini, the Iron Dragon, that's pretty much what you get from me.
Wasn't that your nickname in college, the Iron Dragon?
The Iron Dragon. I thought you were going to say Magnum, but yes, it was. Yeah. So I'm not going to ride the Magnum. There's a joke in there somewhere, but anyhow,
this is really gone. This is really gone the wrong way.
It's going well. So, but I'll walk through the line. So we go to walk in. I have the 2 drinks in my hand. And the girl says, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't take those on the ride." I said, "No problem. I'm not riding. I'm just walking through the line with them, with my 2 boys." And she says, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't walk through the line with them." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, you can't walk through the line with them." I said, "But I'm not riding the ride. I'm just staying with my family and walking through." "Yeah, we can't allow you to do that." And I said, "You won't allow me to walk through the line with the cups that you sold me as a season pass holder, but," and I pointed over in the line, "there's a 12-ounce Coke machine in the line that you can buy from."
Oh, is there really?
"Yes." And so she's like, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't walk through." And I said, "Well, then I need to see a supervisor." And she had no idea what to do. And I was like, "If you're not going to let me stay with my family, my kids don't want to ride if I can't walk through with them." You know, I mean, they're 12 and 13. They don't want to be by themselves.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I said, "I need to see a supervisor." And so she eventually made a phone call. And then my wife walked up. And I was like, "Okay, well, my wife will walk through the line with them and I'll hold the thing." And she had on her back a small purse that had 2 straps. So it was like a backpack, right?
Okay.
"I'm sorry, ma'am, you can't walk through the line with the backpack." She's not riding either. "It doesn't matter. You can't walk through." And as we're standing there, a couple other people walk through with bags. And she doesn't say a word to them. And I said, "So they can go, but we can't? Are we just playing favorites?" And she was totally thrown off. And then she chased them down and came back. And then another woman walked up and she had a drink. And the woman said, you know, the girl said, "You can't walk through with that." And she said, "Well, what am I supposed to do with it?" She said, you got to put it in that locker over there. You got to buy a locker. I said, oh, so you're making us spend more money and buy a locker. And the woman went over and then she comes back and she's like, all the lockers are sold out. What do you want me to do? And the girl's like, I'm sorry, you can't walk through the line. I said, this is unbelievable. Where's the supervisor? Eventually, a security guard came and he said, sir, what's the problem? I explained it to him. And he looked at the girl and he's like, why can't he walk through if he's not riding? And she's like, well, that's what my supervisor said. And he's like, but he's not riding. And the girl's like, that's what my supervisor said. And he's like, can the supervisor come down here and talk to him? And she's like, I don't know. I called. I think they're really busy. And I'm like, I said, too busy to talk to a season pass holder who wants to get what he paid for? And she was like, I don't know, sir. So the security guard took my information and my wife came back and the girl was trying to not let her on. And I was like, Erica, just go. She's not going to chase you. Believe me, you're fine. So my wife just walked on, ignored the girl, walked through. The girl didn't chase my wife, and she walked through, and the kids rode the ride. And I waited at the exit. Now, was I wrong? Tell me your thoughts.
Was this in? Please, once again, congratulations on all your success having
Thank
the
you.
season tickets.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous of you. What were the rules and regulations last year? Didn't you guys attend last year to Cedar Point?
Yeah, I don't remember having a problem last year.
Yeah, it seems like something's happened. Somebody screwed it up for everybody. I can
don't-
understand if you're riding the ride, I guess.
Right.
If you have a cup, I get that. But
Yeah.
if you're just walking through with young kids, I don't. Even the security guard seems like he was like, "What the heck are you talking about here? That's really weird." Because you want to make it family friendly. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have to allow parents to do certain things, not above and beyond. But yeah, that whole thing with Erica in the bag, that's odd. If you're just walking through, once again, if you're on the ride, completely understand it. But if you're just walking through, that's fine. And then I don't know why you wouldn't be able to bring your cup. That's if you're not riding. That is really odd. It sounds like, when did this open, by the way? Did Cedar Point just open a couple weeks ago? April? Something like that?
Weekends.
Okay, weekends. So obviously, it sounds like they're not at a point where they have communicated well with everyone. I think the young person working the gate, I think, was probably a little bit intimidated by all these different people and was trying to follow these certain rules. And I imagine the next time that you go, I imagine it's going to be different.
We'll have to follow them.
I look forward to that. But do you feel better after your rant?
I feel like $1 million.
You do.
Yeah.
You look it too.
Thank you.
Well, Ted, thanks for being out and about. Thanks for spending your hard-earned money. Thanks for putting up with everything at Cedar Point. Thanks for following through with that and carrying your cup on and allowing Erica to walk through with her purse. That's outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, get out there and spend your money, because we love to be out and about.
Oh no, not a dad joke.
Then my doctor told me I was going deaf.
Really?
Yeah, it was really hard for me to hear.
That joke was horrible.
Well, Ken, coming to the end of episode 142, but we can't end an episode without another fan favorite, can we?
Of dead air? Oh, you're talking about some jersey numbers.
Jersey
Yeah.
numbers is where I was going. Yeah.
The only research I did for this show. So,
Oh, is that okay?
congratulations.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good.
All right, 42, sort of a
42.
famous number. I mean, before we get into the Cleveland teams,
Well, you got to go with Jackie Robinson.
there you go. I mean,
Yeah.
if they have a day where everyone wears your jersey number, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Got any others on that one with 42?
In baseball or
Any sport. You name your
wasn't
sport.
Nate Thurman 42?
Nate Thurman was. He is the
Yeah.
most famous Cav that has wore 42. There's
Yeah.
also another famous Clevelander that wore 42.
Uh, what sport?
That would be the fine sport of football.
Was Tim? He
Who's
was
that?
not. Tim Manoa?
The slow and Samoan? Yes, he was 42, but that is not. This person actually is in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Paul Warfield.
Every time, twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
And why is he famous? Who do we trade? Who do we trade to get when we traded him?
Oh, go ahead.
Mike Phipps.
Mike Phipps.
I'll throw
Yeah.
another couple at you here. 42s. Mariano Rivera, pretty good.
Yeah, he was all right.
Ronnie Lott, who's basically has one less pinky than the rest of us. Bruce Sutter, and probably another super famous one where they probably should do the same thing as what they do with Jackie Brown. Pat Tillman. He was also 42. So, Ted, I'm going to go over the 42s for the Cleveland Indians Guardians. By the way, at this point in time, from my research, there has not been a 42 for quite a while on the Cleveland Guardians, if you could believe that.
So,
Who?
Jim Manto?
Maybe Jeff? Jeff Manto?
Jeff Manto. Jeff Manto. I was close.
He was not on my list.
Well, I think he was 42. If
Okay.
you give the list, I'll look up Jeff Manto.
Bob Lemon. He was
Ooh.
pretty good. I know this guy was one of your favorite pitchers growing up. Rich Yett. I know you love some Rich Yett. I think he was part of the rotation with Scotty Bales. Al Nipper. Great name to say. Old Al. I don't know this guy. And he was around when you were covering the Indians and going to games and doing interviews when you were working for, I think, 19 and then TAM. Carlos Martinez. Do you remember Carlos Martinez?
Absolutely.
I
Oh, yeah.
Where did he play? I don't remember him.
First base.
First base.
He was before we were in college. Mark Lewis was the shortstop of the future. Martinez.
Eddie Williams. We had Eddie Williams at third for a bit. He was the
yeah.
superstar.
Oh, yeah, that was going to be it.
I just don't remember him.
Yeah.
I don't remember him. And
By
then the
way,
last one.
Yeah.
The last one is a guy. I don't know. There's not many teams that has the same name for a guy in two different squads. Michael Jackson. So we also had a Michael Jackson that played for the Browns.
That's
and then
right.
he changed his name to Michael Dyson. You remember that?
Dyson Jackson.
Michael Jackson was a closer. He was pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know where I got Jeff Manto, by the way. Jeff Manto wore 30.
It's okay. This is like Planet Fitness.
Right.
No judgment. This is a no judgment zone here.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to the football. There's a couple interesting names on that. One you already said, Paul Warfield.
Yeah.
You said Tim Manoa.
Tim Manoa.
Any others you think of?
No, none that I could think of, but I'm pretty sure there was a DB that was of some significance.
Good answer. Terry Kirby. He was one of our first running backs when we came back.
Yeah.
Louis Riddick.
Oh.
Is that who you're thinking of? He's actually more famous now for being on TV and broadcasting and all that than he was a player. He's actually, I enjoyed listening to him. They were talking about him being a general manager. He applied for one of the jobs. I can't remember who it was. He's a pretty intelligent man. John Kelly. Got nothing there. Okay. How about Tony Fields? Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
That's your Browns.
Okay.
There's other ones, but I'm a pretty decent follower of sports. The other guys, I had no idea who those people were. Cavs, you got one, Nate Thurman. Here's the thing. Boy, the Cavs were desperate to retire some jerseys. He only played for the Cavs for 1 year, Nate Thurman.
Unbelievable.
1 year.
1 year.
And then Dwight Davis was also 42. Pretty good list there. So that's your jersey numbers.
Jersey numbers.
So where will you be going for this holiday weekend where you'll have more rants? Are you going to go back to Cedar Point?
No,
doing that, or?
we have we have a confirmation and a scout event. So I don't think we're going too far. How about you?
I don't have scouting or confirmation.
Okay.
Um, I have a track meet to attend, a district track meet to attend at Brunswick, and
Of
then
course you do.
if the weather was better, I wish I could go do something, but it's supposed to rain. It's
Yeah.
supposed to rain till almost till Saturday. I tell you right now. Somebody asked me the other day, "Have you golfed?" Have I golfed? When would you like me to play?
Yeah.
I mean, it rains every day. The last thing I want to do is wear a pair of waders and go play golf. I mean, I'm bad enough in dry weather. You want me to try to go play when it's muddy? No, not up in here. Not doing that. I'll try to play in June. That's what I'll do.
Weekend.
We do have a long weekend. Will
Yeah.
you still work on Monday, even though
No.
you're not that dedicated?
No, I'm undedicated.
It's okay. And by the way, school is nearly ending. Are your children done with school
Next week's the last week.
next week?
Yep.
Same here. And it's time for some people to go get a job.
That's right.
Time to get a job.
Right.
Well, Ted, this was exhilarating, I guess is the word. We went hard and strong for maybe 15 minutes. Good for us. We talked
Yeah,
about
the
many
show's
different
40
things.
minutes.
We have no one to thank besides ourselves, which makes it super easy. So I won't screw up the guests that we have or anything like that. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday weekend and enjoy yourself. Will you rest and relax at least?
Try.
Will you stay up past 9 o'clock?
I hope so.
I do too. Well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, we're just two middle-aged men in Cleveland.
Two Middle-Aged Men in Cleveland is sponsored by Westminster AV, custom audio-visual packages for all occasions.
I'm not going to ride the Magnum. There's a joke in there somewhere, but anyhow.
This has really gone. This has
Yeah,
really gone the wrong way.
this is going well.